Good morning, I'm Craig Middleton.
And I'm Hannah Bell. Coming up on today's programme, students from the 1990s deps are being sold, another e-cig shop opens in Huddersfield, and more of the elderly are exercising.
But first, the demolition of the former Huddersfield YMCA building has been halted after a gas leak caused when contractors damaged a gas main. Work is taking place to flatten all buildings within the block bordered off by Northumberland Street, St Peter's Street and Lord Street after the council discovered the cost of their upkeep was too much.
Kirklees Council are facing the worst cuts in government funding. They are expected to face an average of 2.9% in cuts, which is below the national average. Less money is being handed to local governments, and Kirklees' spending power is reduced from £355 million to £343 million. In 2015 and 2016, this will be further reduced to £339 million. Kirklees Council leader has said that the cuts are what they were expecting and have prepared for. They have already announced its draft budget proposals, and they will be debated and approved next year.
West Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service are reminding people to keep chimney flues and appliances well maintained this Christmas. Appliances such as kettles and toasters have caused 364 chimney fires across the country in the last 3 years, with 15 of those incidents happening since November the 1st this year. Ian Bitcon, Area Manager for West Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service, said it is essential to eliminate the build-up of soot in chimneys and to also prevent blockages from bird and animal nests. And now, students from the 1990s have had their university fees and debts sold by the government. Matthew Gage has more.
The government has confirmed that it has sold off £900 million worth of student loans to private debt management consortium Arudio Student Loans for £160 million. The sale will affect 250,000 students who took out student loans between the years of 1990 to 1998 and who are still paying back the money they borrowed.
I think it's ridiculous. I think if you sign into a sort of contract from the beginning, then you should expect for it to stay the same.
If it means you're going to end up paying more than what you thought you were, and that's not what you signed up to, then obviously I don't think that's fair.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, when people take out loans, they should, know exactly what they've got to pay back.
This plan will inevitably result in a devastating financial blow to students and graduates for decades down the line. Those who would otherwise have paid off their student loans would still be indebted to whichever private entity owns the loan book. Nosheen Dad is the president of Huddersfield Student Union.
SU stance is pretty simple, really. We were against it. We're still against it, but there's nothing we can do. It's been sold, between the period of 1990 to 1999. We're not getting that back. But the SU's sort of stance on it at the moment is to let our members know what's happened, make sure they're aware of what's happened and what the repercussions of this could be for those people who took the loans out between that period, and just to make our members aware that this is something that the government could potentially do with their bit of the loan book as well, and it could affect them in the very near future.
The government has stressed that the terms and conditions of the loan will remain the same and that borrowers will be protected. The student loans company will continue to deal with the loans until Arudio Student Finance takes over in a couple of months' time. However, how this will affect future generations of borrowers remains to be seen.
Now, the row continues over smoking outside of hospitals. Conor Cuscoli has more.
The NHS is considering a proposal to end smoking on NHS hospital grounds, particularly outside the entrances to hospitals. The idea comes after several formal complaints from visitors were recorded about the amount of second-hand smoke that they were being forced to inhale whilst visiting. The move has been backed by several health watchdogs, including ASH, whose chief executive saying allowing smoking sends entirely the wrong message. One vocal supporter of the plan is Rory Dayton, the director of Healthwatch Kirklees.
I think there's a general principle that it doesn't make sense for us to be smoking in hospitals and around areas of public health. I think the NHS has a £20 billion deficit in its budget by the end of this decade, and that we need to look at ways of dealing with that deficit and changing the way that we work, changing the way that we live and the way that we think. And I think perhaps smoking cessation is one of the things that we should be doing around that.
Since July 2007, all smoking in public areas has been relegated outside anyway, but the total removal of smoking facilities on site is the boldest move since then to advocate public health in this area. But do people really think that it will benefit them?
I think that should happen. That they shouldn't be. Well, it's costing more money from the NHS, isn't it, when they're damaging themselves?
Obviously, people that have been smoking for so long and they're getting treatment to get off cigarettes, off smoking, then what's the point of them going out and having a cigarette, having a break?
I think that patients should be able to do what they want. If they want to smoke, it's their life. Yeah, it's unhealthy for them, but it's their decision to smoke. So I don't think it should be banned.
So while the political elite all agree with the plans, citizens, the one it actually affects, maybe not so much. Conor Criscoli reporting.
Do you consume more than one glass of wine a night? If so, you could be classed as a middle-class binge drinker. Catherine Piat reports.
Binge drinking, a term largely associated with teenagers and young adults who like to go out and party on a weekend in town centres up and down the country. This isn't the biggest drink problem Britain faces. The real problem comes in the form of the hidden drinkers. Middle-aged men and women are at an increased risk as they are drinking from over half a bottle of wine a night to de-stress from their hectic lifestyles. Across the region, there are a number of support groups that are tackling the issue of alcohol misuse, and it is found that there is a rise in the number of people from a professional or middle-class background that are attending these meetings for support. The number of alcohol-related hospital admissions has more than doubled in the last 10 years, official figures show. These people are not realising how the alcohol is affecting their bodies from long-term misuse.
Small National Business Day has come to Britain this year. We sent Craig Middleton to find out more.
Small Business Saturday, a day in which people are encouraged to support smaller independent businesses and step back from the typical high street stores. Originally an American tradition, this is the first year the UK has held a National Small Business Day. Huddersfield is well known for its independent businesses. We spoke to Huddersfield Partnership Manager Kathy Berger.
For the independents in Huddersfield to try and raise the profile of all of our independents, it's a really important day for the independents in terms of it will help people think to shop local for one, but also it will highlight to visitors coming into the town who all the local independents are, because it's the local independents that make our high street that little bit different to every other town in the UK.
The idea of Small Business Saturday is to raise awareness for small independent companies. These companies support the local community in a lot more ways than people think, by putting money into the local economy, something which the big high street giants don't do.
If no one promotes us, then I don't know, we have to do everything ourselves. So the high street and everything like that, they get loads of promotion just by being on high street. So we need that kind of thing. They need to link everything to social media. That's what I think the best thing is. If they search for hashtags and stuff like that for independent businesses, then they'd get a lot more reception, a lot more insight as to what's actually going on with independent businesses.
Small Business Day is something which could hugely benefit smaller businesses in years to come. With more advertising and promotion, it'll become a major day in the UK, especially for the often forgot about independent businesses. E-cigarette shops are opening in Huddersfield in an attempt to encourage people to quit smoking. Jessica Hall went out to find out more.
In Huddersfield, the rise of e-cig shops is taking a big impact on smokers. Last week, new shop EV Cigs opened alongside other electronic smoking shops in the town centre. The shop sells a brand new range of e-cigs, including various flavours and strengths of nicotine. The new e-cig product is thought to contain fewer chemicals than the amount in tobacco-based products. We went along to speak to Adam Bradley, manager of EV Cigs.
In these, there's polyglycerine, the glycerine, and there's nicotine. So you still get your nicotine kick, but for less chemicals. Straight away, you can get them in various flavours. I've got in this store here we have 100 flavours, as well as 7 different colours in pens, so people can mix and match. With a pack of cigarettes as well, it's going to cost you £7 a day for 20. These only cost, we work out on average, it's going to cost you about 30p a day with these.
E-cigs are thought to be healthier than cigarette smoking, but is this just a new trend? With a range of nicotine flavours including mango, watermelon and spearmint, do people smoke e-cigs simply because they taste nicer? New flavours are now available in the shop EV6, such as vodka and sambuca. But is this just promoting other dirty habits as well, such as drinking alcohol? We asked the smokers of Huddersfield what they think to the increase of e-cig shops, and will they be buying one themselves and switching as an alternative to tobacco?
I prefer smoking. I find the e-cigs, whereas you get the nicotine, you don't feel it as way you feel with smoking when it hits the back of your throat, and I prefer that when I smoke.
No, I don't, because it runs out more quickly.
Personally, I won't be buying an e-cigarette because I prefer the taste of tobacco and the smoking experience as a whole.
Although the majority of smokers in Huddersfield prefer smoking cigarettes to vapours, we asked Graham Ormond, a healthcare professional from the University of Huddersfield, on whether vapours are really a healthier alternative to smoking and will eventually help people say goodbye to their bad habits.
There is something that people aren't quite ready to give up. They want to give up for several reasons. They're not ready, and this, it would appear, is a useful first step. Although I think we're still a lot of the vapor type e-cigs still in their infancy. They may have equally as bad impact on health. Only time will tell on that. But on the evidence that we've got presently, I think it's probably is a better thing than somebody smoking.
In the long run, due to the rise of e-cig shops, will this benefit the smoking community in the Huddersfield town and persuade them to join in with the new craze, or will people stick to their unhealthy ways?
Can young people learn from the elderly? There has been an increase in old people exercising around Huddersfield. Joseph Condren reports.
The British Journal of Sports Medicine have released a new study following 3,500 healthy people at or around their retirement age. Exercise with older members of the public seems to be more beneficial when it comes to their health. Top Bodies in Huddersfield offer a discounted membership to everyone over the age of 55, hoping to entice the older community inside.
One of my customers, he didn't actually start training till he was 53. He's now nearly 74. And in his words, he said most of his friends have had it. You know, they're not physically fit, they're not quite as mentally capable as they were. You know, and he still comes in, he trains 5 times a week, he's still quite strong.
Researchers believe that late starters still have much to benefit from short amount of exercise, increasing their value of life. Within his current interest, it seems like older people are willing to become more active.
In order to be fit, there's nothing else you can do. I mean, dieting isn't enough, really. So you have to do both. You have to train and you have to diet. I feel stronger, I feel fitter, I've got a lot more energy. I feel great.
Huddersfield offers many activities such as yoga, martial arts and a wide array of sports, all related to exercise, and nearly all of them accommodate towards the older members of society. With businesses hoping that recent studies get the old generation out of their slippers and into their running shoes. I'm Joseph Condren, reporting.
The University of Huddersfield has been voted University of the Year by the Times Higher Education Supplement. Hannah Bell has more.
The University of Huddersfield have been awarded the Times Higher Education Award. The University of the Year Award is awarded by the Times Higher Education Supplement, which is the professional magazine for the university sector. 17 awards are given, but the University of the Year Award is the most hotly contested, with 64 universities being shortlisted. The winners also included Universities College of London, Cardiff, Southampton and Edinburgh University. The top award went to Huddersfield.
Well, in terms of winning the University of the Year Award, it seriously raises our profile, particularly internationally. They're always looking for that edge, our international students. For our home students to know that there's excellence on their doorstep, they don't need to wander anywhere else. Why go to another university when you've got the University of the Year on your doorstep?
To celebrate winning the award, a civic ceremony has been held at the Town Hall. Guests included the Mayor of Kirklees, the Vice-Chancellor of the University and the head of the Student Union. The reception ran on Monday from 12:30pm to 2:30pm and guests enjoyed a buffet while discussing the university's achievement.
I think what it will do is to maintain the prominence of Huddersfield and its university in the forefront of academic minds, so that when people are considering a university place, somewhere for research or development, then Huddersfield will be one of the first things that comes up because of continued success over several years.
The award will have a great implication on Huddersfield and the Kirklees area's economic future, bringing new students and investments to the town.
Now over to Sean Wright with the weather. Sean.
Thank you, Craig. And despite those powerful breezes we encountered yesterday heading off into the North Sea, unfortunately things are going to remain unsettled this afternoon, and that trend is set to continue into the weekend. As for this afternoon, we're going to see a lot more cloud cover sweeping in from the west, which will eventually lead to some heavy bursts of rain this evening. And if you are planning to head out for this final Friday before Christmas, do take out those brollies because you will certainly be needing them. On a slight positive note, nightly temperatures will be a few degrees higher than Thursday night because of that cloud cover overhead, with temperatures hovering around 6 degrees. As we head into Saturday, it looks like there will be no respite from the wet weather for the majority of the day. There may be the odd brief period of dry weather around lunchtime, but we're expecting some consistent outbursts of rain throughout the rest of the day into Saturday night. I'm afraid again it's going to be another wet night ahead, with temperatures still holding up around 5 degrees. As we head into Sunday, things gradually improve. The rain will head off into the northeast and we may see some spells of sunshine around mid-afternoon. No significant change though in those temperatures in West Yorkshire, staying around 5 or 6 degrees. That's weather for now. Back to Hannah and Craig in the studio.
Thank you, Sean. And finally, do you have a habit of dropping your phone down the toilet? Well, a student from the University of Huddersfield has come up with a brilliant idea to fix wet phones. Matt Sivia has more.
Once upon a time, hardly anyone owned a mobile phone. Nowadays, we can't imagine our lives without them, making it all the more stressful when the worst happens. However, this may no longer be a problem, thanks to a student at the University of Huddersfield who says she's found out how to fix a wet phone.
Supervisor this year asked me to look at some methods of taking water out of mobile phones after he dropped his phone in the toilet. We found out that it was quite a common thing to happen. There's quite a lot of methods out there on the internet and he wanted me to scientifically test which was the best method. Well, I tested silica gel, I tested lots of different types of rice. I used a lamp and a vacuum cleaner, and from those tests silica gel came out the best because it removed 100% of the water. I then went on to test out basmati rice because we felt that most people wouldn't have silica gel in their cupboard. I used an actual mobile phone for this one. I wet the mobile phone, put it in the tub with the rice. After 24 hours, I think it's 75% of the water is out of the phone, and after 48 hours 100% of the water is out of the phone.
Don't be reaching for the rice just yet though, as we spoke to a local phone repairman who says the discovery is nothing new and isn't foolproof.
Lots of people try the rice method. They put the device into rice for a couple of days, then it dries out. So same theory. In my experience, it doesn't work.
So perhaps our phones aren't safe from the water just yet, but either way, maybe it wouldn't hurt to leave a tub of basmati in the bathroom, just in case.
That's all for now. Join us at 1 o'clock for the lunchtime programme.
Goodbye.